In this leadership module, we're going to have the learning outcome of becoming a better and more active listener. Let's get started. We're going to learn about behaviors that will make you a better and more active listener in this module. The first step is to understand that listening is a choice. Few of us are actually incapable of listening, right? Usually we either let distractions get in the way or we just simply get lazy. Other times we're so busy deciding what we're going to say next that we aren't really paying attention to what's being said by the other person. Active listening is a disciplined approach to listening where you focus on the speaker and restate what you've heard to ensure that you've understood it. This isn't easy, but the benefits include fewer misunderstandings, decreased defensiveness, better conflict resolution and problem solving, and stronger relationships overall. A first step is to make sure that you mirror the other person's body language. As you know, you've probably heard it 100 times, but people don't realize how powerful your body language can be. We feel comfortable with those who are similar to us. It's that simple. If you mirror the other person's body language, it'll put them at ease. For example, if you notice that someone is leaning in, you should lean in. If they smile, smile back. Focus your attention completely on the person you're speaking with. Try to block out distractions and show the other person that you're really paying attention to them. The way you can do this is to minimize the distractions in the room that you're operating in, like close your email, put your cell phone down or put it on mute, close your door. And then when the other person is speaking, imagine a picture frame around their head and only look inside that frame. Really, really pay attention to them and just absorb what they're saying. Talk as little as possible and focus on the discussion that's being happened, not on yourself. You have to sort of trust that no matter what happens in the conversation, you will be able to respond and digest what they've said so that it's a real conversation. Also, it's important to give both nonverbal and verbal feedback. You can say things like, I see, or I'm sure. Make sure that the other person knows that you're paying attention and are really absorbing what they're saying. Next, this is an interesting one. Don't judge what the other person is saying while they're saying it. Just listen to it. Even if you don't agree with what they're saying or feels like you don't, withhold judgment as long as possible. For example, instead of thinking, I can't believe that she just said that, this is so mean, try to tell yourself, how interesting. I wonder why she said that. Because it may not be an attack on you. It's definitely, they're just putting that out in the universe because that's what they're feeling. Some tips that you can do this or ways that you can do this is to ask open-ended questions, write down important details while you're listening, or mentally summarize the speaker's main points, and really, really work to stay objective while you're listening to someone. Now we know that active listening is easier said than done. So if what the other person is starting to say makes you feel emotional, try to imagine that you're being transported out of the conversation and viewing it from somewhere else. If you find yourself judging the other person, visualizing packaging all of your thoughts about the person and locking them in the box until the conversation's over. Essentially, we're trying to find ways of removing ourselves from those emotions until the conversation's over, because you want to be able to listen and hear what the person's saying without passing judgment on them. Finally, check your understanding. One of the most fundamental human needs is to be understood. And don't assume you immediately comprehend what the other person is saying. How many times have you been in a conversation and you've sort of cut people off or assumed you knew what they meant, but later found out that you either missed a nuance or you misinterpreted what they were saying, and then you had to go back and it created conflict and those kinds of things. So make sure that you can understand what the other person is saying. One of the ways to do this is to check what the other person is saying. Make sure that you're giving them feedback so that you're staying on the same page. You can say things like, so what I hear you saying is, or you could say, it sounds like, or let me see if I understand. By using these phrases, you're giving the person the opportunity to feedback or to check that what you're getting from them is exactly what they mean. Also, you should ask probing questions to help the other person think through their issue. Some good examples of these of probing questions are, what makes this important to you? Or how do you know that X or Y is true? Or what's it like for you when this situation happens? Or, so what needs to happen here for you to either feel comfortable or for you to feel like we're being successful, etc. In addition to listening what the speaker says, focus on understanding and supporting their feelings, their beliefs. Try to state the speaker's emotion as well as the details of the situation. For example, you can say something like, "It sounds like the situation is frustrating for you," or "It sounds like you're a little confused about what's going on." By combining this, you can not only feed back to the actual context of the words that they're saying, but you're also connecting with them on an emotional level. We hope that this module on active listening has been useful for you. Remember that a complete transcript of this video can be found below, and you can download this content to take away and use offline as well. Also, please take a moment to comment below about how you're becoming a better active listener today. Also, leave us a comment about how we can make this section better. Thanks.